What if Fortnite did a DC season? I don't think it's a bold claim to say that Fortnite's Marvel season back in 2020 was very successful. It was so well received by the player base, in fact, that they're running it back for a part 2 next season. Something that we now know because of the leaked 2024 roadmap. Personally, I love the Marvel season, and while I am super excited for the second one, I can't help but think of what it would be like if they decided to switch it up this time and did a DC season instead. To build up the hype for this season, I think it would be funny if Epic started placing a bunch of Batman decorations around POIs, maybe even have the bat signal show up in the sky at night. They could even give us the Batmobile as a car in-game for the last 2 weeks of this current season. It seems like Batman is back on the island. All this will pay off, trust me. Chapter 5 Season 4's trailer would start up in the sky, looking down at the map below. In the sky above appears 5th dimensional being and Batman's self-proclaimed biggest fan, Batmite. Batmite starts pointing at locations on the Fortnite map and turns them into comic locations from DC. More on those later. He then teleports several characters from DC onto the Fortnite map, as well as bringing back his favorite hero, Batman. Most of these characters would be Battlepass skins, again more on those later, but Batmite still thinks there's one thing missing. A big bad, and a bunch of enemies for the heroes to fight. So he teleports Darkseid himself to the Fortnite island, as well as a giant army of parademons. For tier 1 of the Battle Pass, I went with my favorite DC character, the original Robin himself, Nightwing. I think he would be a perfect tier 1 skin. Nightwing could also have a red suit style. His pickaxe and backbling are batons, and they would visually unequip from his back when he uses the pickaxes. His glider would be something similar to his glider in Gotham Knights, and his emote could be a sick superhero perch pose. For the second skin of this Battle Pass, I have Zatanna. I think Zatanna is really cool and honestly underrepresented in non-comic book DC media. Her pickaxe would be her wand, as well as her emote, backbling, and glider all being magic based too. Battle Passes usually have their funny skins. You know, your Peelys, your Poseidons, your Peabodies. Even the Marvel season had Groot. Well, for this, I've picked King Shark. I love this character ever since I watched the Suicide Squad, and I think it'd be awesome to have him in Fortnite. His backbling could be a little Starro with an anchor pickaxe, a kiddie pool glider, and a emote. After that, I've picked Lex Luthor, Superman's biggest hater. He'd come with a kryptonite backbling, a kryptonite energy blade, a LexCorp chopper glider, and a built-in emote to switch between the styles of Lex Luthor and Armored Luthor. Next is the Woman of Steel, Supergirl. Her backbling is obviously her cape, and her glider would be similar to Superman's glider animation. Her pickaxe is her sword from Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and her emote is a reference to the cover of that comic. The next character is a hero that's been rising in popularity over the years, Blue Beetle. This is also one of my favorite characters in DC. He could come with a Scarlet Scarab style too. His backbling is the Scarab, an obvious choice of wings for his glider, and his pickaxe and emote are both pulled from the badass sword scene in the movie. And for tier 100, I've picked the GOAT, Wally West. I'm gonna be so honest with you, I just want this so I can have a Flash skin that isn't wearing that ugly ass CW suit.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
He could come with edit styles for Kid Flash and comma accurate Classic Flash too. The Flash would have a blue lightning bolt pickaxe, a speed tornado glider, and this sick ass pose as part of his emote. Also, his backbling is the hat of Jay Garrick, the original Flash. And finally, for the bonus skin of this Battle Pass, I've picked Green Lantern. His backbling is his ring battery, and his glider is a fighter jet construct that you'd stand on. The emote would be him creating an arcade machine and playing it, and the pickaxe is boxing gloves, but could also have edit styles for other things too. Maybe a hammer or a sword or something. I've decided on 3 new named POIs. Star Labs would replace Pleasant Piazza, and halfway through the season would be taken over by Lex Luthor and rebranded into LexCorp. Replacing Rebel's Roost is Titan's Tower, headquarters of the Teen Titans. You can find several of the Titans as NPCs here. And finally, replacing Lavish Lair is Wayne Manor. At first, it does seem very similar to Lavish Lair, but once you explore the underground, you'll find the Batcave as a huge underground area like the Grotto. You can also find Batman in the Batcave as a boss, and the items he would drop upon eliminations are the Batarang and his grappling hook from Season X. Speaking of items... Okay, get ready for a whole bunch of mythics. Here's a couple I came up with. Green Lantern's minigun, Blue Beetle's Scarab, which would give you an energy sword that you could use for melee combat or even shoot energy blasts from medium range. The Flash's medallion would give you significantly faster movement and longer stamina. Zatanna's medallion would give you a permanent low gravity effect. The mythic King Shark's fists, which would work like the She-Hulk mythic, but they would also make you swim a lot faster. Supergirl's Heat Vision mythic, which could maybe work like Iron Man's repulsors, shooting lasers at enemies while also being able to fly a bit. I've come up with a few non-mythic items too. The LexCorp rifle, which would work like the railgun. Red Hood's dual pistols. They would have a slower fire rate than the regular dual pistols, but do a lot more damage per shot. The Penguin's umbrella. It would be a mix of the Kingsman umbrella from Chapter 2, allowing for melee attacks and shielding, as well as the Silver Surfer mythic that lets you launch up and deploy your glider. Let's talk shop skins. The characters I've decided on are Red Hood, Black Canary, Shazam, Booster Gold, Cyborg, Hawkgirl, Tim Drake as Robin, and Batgirl. And for the Halloween event, I've picked John Constantine and Scarecrow. Peacemaker and Vigilante could also be a duo bundle in the shop. And right before the live event, they could release a Darkseid skin. Which leads me to... Before I jump into the event, I'll give a quick summary of the season storyline. After being brought to the island by Batmite, Darkseid senses an extremely powerful source of energy here. He and his army begin to try and find the location of this powerful energy. Darkseid eventually finds out that this energy is the 0 point, and it is the key to all life in the multiverse. Of course he wants to destroy it. During the season, we fight parademon clusters scattered across the map, and they would drop loot. Darkseid discovers the 0 point is below either the big lake in the center of the island or the glacier near Grand Glacier. I haven't really decided which one it's going to be between, but it's definitely one of those places. It's definitely there. The event begins. The DC heroes are trying their best fighting Darkseid while we hold back his parademon army. We're equipped with LexCorp weapons and turrets. Darkseid defeats the heroes and unearths the 0 point. He begins destroying it. It starts cracking badly. A cutscene begins. Flash is the only hero standing, but this fight is already lost. Flash runs off. He runs onto the ocean and begins running laps around the island. The sky goes between constant day and night cycles until the entire screen is a red blur. The screen fades to white. The Flash stops running, sits down on the mountain he is on, and is approached by 4 characters: Ripley, Midas, Jonesy, and Hope. They all stand up and recreate this iconic shot. We've traveled back in time, taking us into Fortnite OG Chapter 2. That was my idea for a What If DC season. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing. If you'd like to see more content like this from me, be sure to let me know. I like making these types of videos. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Step back, UFC highlights with the range I kick. What's that?